So when it comes to listing your items on eBay, generally you want to get as many people to see your auction as possible. Alright, more eyeballs to your auction means more money in your pocket, or a better likelihood that the product is going to sell in the first place. So today I want to give you 3 free ways that you can go ahead and get improved readership to your auctions, or improved viewership. Alright, now eBay, they've got a whole bunch of added features you can add to your auctions to get more visitors. Like you can put it in bold, you can highlight it, you can feature it in a category, you can feature it on the homepage. Alright, and all these things will help you get more money for your art, or get more people to look at your item, but they're not necessarily always cost effective, because some of them are a substantial fee extra. So I want to give you some free ones you can take a look at and try for yourself. Alright, so the first one basically is about your headline. Alright, the title of your auction. And a lot of people don't use all the space that they're given. Alright, they'll put in things like, the name of the item, or the brand name of it, and the model number. Alright, these are good places to start. But what else can you put in your auction to describe it? You can talk about what it is. Think about it. If you're listing an iPod or something, well, what is an iPod? It's an MP3 player. Alright, maybe not a lot of people are searching for that, but the ones who are, you're going to get that. You're going to get that listing, because not a lot of other people are going to be using it. They're going to be putting in a bunch of other stuff. So if you're selling laser printers, put that in there. Or if there's more than one way you can spell a manufacturer's name, do that. Canon, Canon spelled with 1 N. If you've got room, try spelling it with 2 N's as well. HP. HP is Hewlett Packard. Most people don't use Hewlett Packard because it takes a lot of space, but if you've got room for it, go ahead and throw it in there. Alright, next one is using intentional misspellings. Alright, so I kind of mentioned this with the Canon one, but let me show you another example here. Alright, this is a UB Funkies. Alright, these are little toys that make really good gifts, say for aunts and uncles who might not necessarily be aware of even what the heck they are. So they'll type it in, and they'll type it into eBay, and they'll type in Funkies. Okay, how would you spell funky if you didn't know how this was spelled? Because this is not the standard spelling for it. You'd probably put in F-U-N-K-Y or F-U-N-K-Y-S. Okay, these are actually fun keys, so F-U-N-K-E-Y-S. Here's the thing. With these, it just makes sense to use pretty much every spelling you can think of for the word funky. Alright, and same goes for Hannah Montana. Hannah with an H, or Hannah without the H. If you can fit it, put both of them in. You're going to get more people looking at your auction, and ultimately that's going to mean more money in your pocket. Alright, and don't be afraid to spy in your competition. If you've got a competitor, you're looking through your completed items listings, and there's a competitor out there who's kicking your butt on every single auction, well, go ahead and look at what they're doing. Alright? Take a look at what, see if you can figure out what words are they using that you're not. What does their description say that you're not? I mean, don't be afraid to, ethically borrow some of what some of the techniques they're using. Alright, this is where I learned a whole lot of my techniques for selling and getting better prices for it. I just looked at what the people who are doing well with it did. So don't be afraid to spy in your competition. That's another one. So that is tip number 1. Alright, tip number 2 is much shorter, so because I don't want to talk all day. But here's one. You can use all caps for your listing. Alright, now eBay will say we use bold. Pay the extra $1 for bold and you'll get more viewers. You'll get just a few more. Using all caps in your listing will get almost as many extra viewers as bold. Now it doesn't work quite in every category anymore, but it'll still work in most of them. So just take a look at if there's a lot of listings where nobody's doing it, well, go ahead, it'll make your listing stand out just a little bit extra, and you'll get more eyeballs to your listing. Alright, last one for you. I got a cool little technique to show you to make your photos stand out. It doesn't kind of jump off the page at people. So I'm going to switch over to screen view here, and we're going to take a look at it. Alright, so first thing I want to bring up here is just the typical listings. Right now we're just looking at Transformers listings here. And you can kind of look at all the pictures here. None of them really are jumping out at me because it's mostly just people's collections. So here's a trick that I used when trying to sell some items last Christmas. Alright, here's what the typical picture for a Transformers listing would look like. Alright, and here's what I changed it into. Alright, what I did is I took out the background that was there, the kind of boring, grayish, dull background, and I made it bright yellow. So now it kind of, whoa, really stands out. And then I added a red border around it just to even make it stand out further. So this is what I recommend you do. If you have a program like Photoshop, use it. And I think you can get a free program called the GIMP, and you can do most of this stuff with that too. But I used Photoshop just because that's what I happen to have. So just go ahead, take out those backgrounds, add some bright colors to it, and you'll make your listings jump off the page. Here's another example I did. This one's for, let me see, Hannah Montana guitar. Alright, so I took this one and I turned it, made the background pink, and then I put a big thick green border around it. Alright, now eBay, like at the time, was offering, you know, they'll put a green border around your listing for, I forget what the extra fee was. You can do this with just your photo editing program. Put a big green border around it yourself and it looks almost the same, and you don't have to pay any extra for it. So those are 3 tips that you can use to start getting a whole lot more people to visit your auctions. So go ahead, start using those, and let me know what you think. I'm interested to hear your feedback on it. See ya.